Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Social Selling Wednesday live show. My name is Anita Wong and today we're going to be talking about, do you say or like a lot when you are recording a video or you are live streaming? Now, the reason I brought this up is because the other day I did a live stream with a very good friend, Carol Hansen, and we were talking about video confidence and style. And somebody looked at my video online and said to me, oh, I never go live because I'm really worried about saying all the time. So it got me to thinking, how many other people are finding that difficult? So before I get into all the details of how you can actually stop yourself from saying like and a lot, I'd like to invite you to let me know where you're coming in from. So where are you joining me from? Are you on YouTube? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Facebook? And where in the world are you at the moment? Hello, Veronica. So we have Veronica. So I know Veronica is over the sea. So do let me know exactly where you are streaming in from. That would be lovely. So we all do it. We all say I used to do it a lot. I now have some strategies that help me to stop me doing it. I still do it occasionally. Usually I do it when I'm feeling a little bit flustered or I'm feeling a little bit rushed. And I also used to do it a lot when I presented in person. So if I was on stage and I was running a workshop or I was getting really excited and I lost my train of thought, that's where I would start to get the ums, ers, and the likes from. So I just want to say hello to Lacey Macy Haberdashery in YouTube today from wet Bournemouth. Yes, it is wet in London as well, I'm afraid. The rain is coming down. We had a little taster of sunshine yesterday. When I woke up yesterday morning, the sun was shining and I had my doors open all day because I'm south facing and it was amazing. But unfortunately, I just said it, you see, because the phone just rang. I got distracted and I said that word that I'm going to teach you or show you some of the strategies that I use to not say. And we have also Shabari on LinkedIn. So hello, everybody, and welcome. So let's get on to the depth of what we're going to be talking about. So the first way of actually not saying and like, or some of those other common filling words. So they're called filler words. So they're words that we say when our brain is trying to think about what to say next. So it's always really good to actually have a plan or a strategy. So Shabar is saying, I say a lot in every live video. Yes, we all do that. You know, I do it as well, especially when I'm distracted. So here's the first strategy to help you to stop doing the ums, the ers, and the other filler words like or you know. The first one is to plan your live stream ahead. So what I do sometimes, or what I used to do, was to put post-it notes up. So you can use a bullet point system. You can have your notes open on a different device, or you could actually have bits of paper everywhere. What I do is I actually write my captions out beforehand. So I plan my live stream. I know exactly what I want to talk about, and I get bullet points in the form of the captions that I am using at the moment inside of my live streaming software. So you are able to actually put captions in beforehand. So these captions that you can see coming across the screen are the ones that I help keep me on track whilst I'm talking. So that's the first one, is to plan out your actual talk. Use bullet points, write it in notes, have it in captions, but just have an idea of exactly what it is that you want to say. The second one, which is what I've just had to do to stop myself saying or was to actually breathe and pause. If you imagine what a computer does, I can actually hear my computer whirring at the moment. In the background, the fan is running. And what it's doing is it's trying to cope with everything that's open on my computer. So I'm live streaming to you guys using Restream, and I'm live streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and my LinkedIn account. And my computer is feeling it. It's feeling a little bit overwhelmed, like there's lots of things happening. So like a computer, your brain needs to actually work out what it wants to say next. It needs to compute it. If you imagine those neurons, those sensory neurons that we're all aware of, you go to say something and then you're thinking in your head, what do I want to say next? That's when the post-it notes come in really handy, but also allowing yourself to breathe and to pause, because one of the really great things about live video is that it's live, it's natural, and you can make mistakes, but you can also pause. One of the things, and this leads me to my third option actually, and we can go over and I'll answer any questions that you have at the end, but one of the things that we tend to do is we do this. We rush through our live videos because we think, excuse me, that everybody who's listening has to absorb the information very quickly. We treat our live videos like we treat our pre-recorded videos sometimes. And what happens is that we rush through the content. We don't take our time and we don't pause and breathe and allow the viewers who are watching us to interact with us. So I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Shabari. I'm hoping I am. So do let me know if I've incorrectly pronounced it. But what you can do in your live show, if you're using a third-party software, so in other words, if you're using something like Restream, you can actually have all of the different things up, and I can actually see your chat. I can interact with you. And that's the beauty of live video, because we want to have that interaction. So Veronica's joining me from over in the States, and Lacey Macy Haberdashery is joining me down in Bournemouth. You know, Shabari's, yes, she's joining me from on LinkedIn. And what happens is that what we do most of the time, I'm not saying that everybody does this, because it takes practice to actually take your time, breathe, and actually allow people to interact with you, and actually allow people to have time to answer the questions that you're answering. So pausing during a live video is absolutely fine. So I've just seen that lots of people have started to write some comments up, and that's because I've paused. I've allowed you as the viewer to listen to what I'm saying and think about it. I could have rushed through those 3 points really, really super quickly, and this video could be over by now. And that's okay. It could be. But because we're live, and I want to learn a little bit more about you, I want to learn your experiences of actually using those filler words in your live video, and whether you do it or whether you're not aware that you do it. And then when you watch the video back, you know, you might sit down with a cup of tea afterwards and you might be filling out all of the description and answering people's questions, and you can hear yourself in the background, and you can suddenly hear yourself filling in all the gaps with those filler words. So when your brain's doing the thinking, your mouth's doing the umming. And what we need to do is we need to try and work out strategies so that we don't do the ums too often, and we don't do the ers too often, and we don't add those words that we use quite a lot, like, you know, like, we can do this, like, we can do that, like. We don't want to be putting them in too often, because we want to be sharing our value. We want to be sharing what we want to share in a clear manner so that people can actually learn and action and actually go forward with it. So I just want to check what other people have been saying. So it's really good. So How do you stop saying when you are conducting an unplanned interview with a guest? Just breathe. Try to actually, in your mind, just allow time to speak. It's a little bit like when you're having a conversation with somebody. When they're talking, you wait for them to finish their actual sentence, and then you think about it a little bit, don't you? You compute it. And live video is a little bit like that, because if you're interviewing somebody on a live video, there's always going to be a little bit of a delay as well, because depending on what their Wi-Fi is like or their internet connection's like, it can be delayed, the actual speech. So actually pausing a little bit and taking a deep breath isn't too bad. Now, I'm actually purposely very aware that I don't want to say the or like too often during this video, because we all actually can do it very easily. Subconsciously, we just say it. So at the beginning of this live, a colleague of mine called me and it came up on my screen that somebody was ringing. And I went into this panic mode in my head. You might not have noticed, but inside I was panicking, thinking, oh dear, the phone's ringing, what do I do, what do I do? And I heard myself go, I heard it come out of my mouth, because what was happening was my brain was saying to me, right, you need to take action. You're on the camera, you're live in front of everybody, so you need to keep yourself together. You need to act as if everything's okay, but you also need to turn off that phone, So it was like I was feeling the panic. I could feel the panic coming through me. And I was thinking to myself, why did I not turn off my notifications? But it came from my phone, because obviously it's easy when we're working. If our mobile phone is over on the other desk and our laptop's here, I've got my phone and my laptop connected, so it rings. So try to, when somebody is actually, you're interviewing somebody, maybe when you ask the question, at the end of each question when you're doing the interview, is to actually say to them, take your time, we'll wait for your answer. And anyone in the audience who may be watching, if you want to actually add to the answer, drop what you think in the comments below. It allows you to just try and do those things. So going back over the options, the strategies that I said, if we ignore the first one, which was to plan ahead, because when you're doing a live interview, you would have already planned, I presume, that you would have already spoken to the person that you're interviewing, and you would have already run through the questions that you might be asking them and things like that. So that sort of thing we would already have planned for. But actually, when we're conducting the interview or we're running through our points on our live video, we do, and it's okay to do this. It's okay to breathe, and it's okay to pause. I know some people might be thinking, oh, well, what is she waiting for? Why doesn't she just spit it all out and get on with it? We haven't got all day. We don't have all day. But sometimes, if the content that you're talking about is of value to the person watching, they will wait for you to pause, breathe, and present. If they just want to get a quick win and run away, then that's fine. They can do that as well. But if you're keeping people engaged and you're actually, they're interacting with you, they're asking questions, they're putting comments on, then just breathe normally and stay calm, and ultimately don't rush, because rushing will create panic, and panic lends itself to confusion, and your brain is just going like this and it's spinning. It's going, what do I do? What do I do? What do I say? What do I say? And rather than keeping it in, we spontaneously, as a habit, will say or we'll say or we'll say like. And sometimes it's a habit that's quite difficult to break, and you may not actually realize that you do it until you listen to the replay of your video. So just try and do those three things. So the first one is to plan your live stream ahead and have something next to you which has your prompts on. So whether it's a post-it note stuck to your screen, whether it's your captions written out beforehand when you're on your live, or whether you have bullet points in your notes, it really helps you to keep on track. And don't be afraid to recap over your bullet points. If you're suddenly finding that you're running out of things to say, or you can hear yourself saying those filler words quite often, then just recap what you've just done from your bullet points. That's perfectly fine as well. Okay, so I want to check whether there's any more comments, and it's great that you're all interacting with me. So let's have a little look. I do need to plan so much more, as even on a video, as I can see myself doing that a lot, but I also do it in real life. We do it a lot in real life. I do it a lot in real life. What I do a lot in real life is I get frustrated sometimes waiting for people to answer, and then you go to answer for them, and I make myself stop, because I've learned that because of all the things that I've been doing on live video recently, all the videos I've been creating, and I did used to do a lot. When I look back at some of the earlier videos that I've done where I hadn't planned my video out, I was just like jumping on, I will still do a lot. And I'm not, please don't think that I'm scolding anyone for doing that, because I'm not. We all do it, and it's something that you can actually work through and reduce. It's still okay to do the odd one. I mean, I did it at the beginning. I went because the phone was ringing and I went into a panic. But obviously I'm a little bit more conscious about doing the ums and the ers and saying the filler words, because I'm teaching you the strategies not to do it in this video. So I'm very conscious of trying not to say them too often, which is why I'm allowing myself to breathe and pause, because then it helps me to look around and absorb the information. Remember at the beginning, I said that your brain is like a computer. If it gets overloaded and there's too much stimulus coming in, my brain does that colourful donut of doom, as Carol Boskert and I call it. If your brain overloads, and like if your computer is running on too many applications and it's trying to get everything to work, the donut of doom spins. And Carol and I brought this up in one of the programs that we run, where it's just the donut just keeps spinning because the computer just doesn't know what to do. And when we start going and and we fill these gaps with filler words, that's our donut of doom in our brain saying to us, there's too much activity going on, there's too much going on, and it's just too much. So Veronica just said it makes sense. I think making some bullet points notes to keep on track. Yes, it does. I have them in a form of my captions. So whenever I'm doing some talks, I've also got my notes open to the left of my screen where I can actually see what's going on. And I've actually got my comments from you guys over here on the left as well. So I can see those as well as putting them over here on the screen. And then that's how I can actually bring you all up on the screen and share your lovely comments and lovely ideas as well. So yeah, Veronica's using post-it notes. I love them. The man who invented post-it notes, or the woman that invented post-it notes, must be so rich right now, because we use them for everything. It's amazing. It's really, really good. So Gal said, good point. So please, it's okay to breathe. Yes, absolutely. Well, obviously we do need to breathe. Otherwise we would do this. But breathing on a video is so important, because I know that you're all absolutely amazing at what you do. You're all amazing what you do. And you've taken that step to do the live video. You've actually gone ahead and you've said, right, I am going to do some videos. I'm going to record some videos, but I'm also going to do the live, because the live really helps people get to know you better. You know, the advantages of live video, I think, is number one, you don't have to keep retaking them for a start. You do a live and it's live. So it's one take only. Whatever happens in that live happens. And that's the beauty of live. If you saw me doing some videos for a client recently, oh my goodness, how many takes did I do? How many times did I pre-record, re-record, edit, cut out, add in? Because I wanted it perfect. Live streaming doesn't have to be perfect. But what you want it to do is you want it to be a video format that people can watch afterwards and still get that core information from, without all the ums and the ers and the filler words like, or isn't it? Isn't that right? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? So whilst your brain is doing the donut of doom, try to just breathe. Or pause. And then you can move on to the next one. So Gail's made a brilliant point, because Gail helps children to learn in a different way about what's happening around them. I always tell the children I work with that the people you are talking to don't know what you're going to say. So talk slowly enough for their brain to get it in. Exactly. Absolutely. That's a fantastic tip. And we can all learn from that, Gail. You know the topic of this talk. You knew that I was going to talk about trying to not use the filler words such as and like. But you didn't know what I was going to be saying. You didn't know those 3 strategies that I've just shared with you. So speaking slightly slower, but having a bit of fun with it as well. You know, you can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can breathe, and you can pause. That's the beauty of live video. You can do all of those things, but just remember, it's not the end of the world if you do add the odd like or into your videos. It's not the end of the world. But if you can, it will really help you to increase the viewership of your replays if you can deliver your value, the quantity, like most of the quality of your video without the ums, the likes and the ers. So going to quickly go over the 3 strategies, and then I'm going to see if anyone else got any questions, and then I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. So the first one is plan your live stream ahead. Use post-it notes, use bullet points, use your notes on your computer, have your iPad or your phone nearby. The one thing I'd like to say as well is that with live video, it doesn't matter if you look down at your sheet. When you're first starting out, live video is all about you being you. And you can look away and reach up as long as most of the time you're looking at the camera so that you're engaging with your audience. And remember, as a little super tip, your best friend is standing behind the camera. Okay? Because you don't always have somebody watching you. So always imagine that your best friend is on the other side of the camera and you're having a conversation with them. Tell them about what it is that you want to share with the world. And they, although they won't answer you because they're not really there, they will help you to deliver your content on time and at ease so that you don't panic. Breathe and pause. Just like a computer, our brain goes into overdrive sometimes, and our brain does that donut of doom spin that our computer does. So just take a breath, pause, and let your brain think about what it wants to say next. And the final strategy is don't rush. Don't rush through your live. Don't rush through your points, and allow yourself to ask questions and let other people join in the conversation, because that's one of the great things about live video is that you can have people interacting with you and you can have a conversation with an audience all over the other side of the world. So I'm in London, Veronica's over on the East Coast of America, and we're all over the place, and we can all have a conversation. And if you allow it to happen, then you'll allow your audience to reply. One of the things that I used to do with my live videos when I first started off was that I used to rush through everything really quickly. Then I'd get to the end and go, okay, fine, thank you, and I'll see you at the next video. And I never gave anyone a chance to ask a question. And I was wondering, why does nobody ask me a question? And one of the reasons was that I was moving through the content too quickly. So when I gave a point or a strategy, now I ask if anybody else is experiencing that or whether anyone else has a comment about that. And it allows you to interact. So don't rush through your content. And these 3 strategies that I've just told you, you can use for pre-recorded video as well. If you plan your video out, you take deep breaths and you pause and you don't rush, your videos are going to be so much better quality, and they're going to be so much easier for people to watch on the replay as well. So I hope that you found these points useful. You can ask a question now if you want, Gail. I have a couple more minutes. I'm in no rush to leave. If you want to ask, I will just sit here. Whilst you're writing the question in, I will tell you about my live streaming course that I would love some of you to perhaps check out. I know some of you here are already on it. I do have a live streaming academy where you can actually get all of these pointers and have me in person to talk to. Now, I am live streaming on YouTube at the moment and over on LinkedIn and on Facebook. In May and June, I am running an 8-week Get Started with YouTube course. And I would love if anyone would want to find out a little bit about that, then you can find out about that. I will drop the link underneath this video. That's about getting your YouTube channel set up. However, if you want to learn more about stopping yourself from saying the ums and the ers and the filler words, and you want to learn a little bit more about confidence, how to go live, all the nitty-gritty techie bits, then do feel free to reach out to me and I'll have a chat with you about how I can help you move your marketing into the video marketing space. So do drop a comment below if you're watching this on the replay and you want to find out a little bit more. I will put a link to both of those courses underneath this video, and have a great day. So enjoy yourself. And if you're watching the replay of this video, don't forget that it's okay occasionally. And it's not a problem if you do say like, or a lot. But if you want to actually try to reduce those a little bit, then do have a little look at the strategies, i.e. plan out, breathe, pause, and don't rush. And your live streams and your replays will be so much better. So don't forget to join me next Wednesday for the next week's live. So every Wednesday at 2 p.m, I go live with my Social Selling Wednesday live show. And if you want more videos around live streaming, video marketing, Instagram and Facebook optimization, then do feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is where I'm live streaming to today. If you're watching me over on LinkedIn or Facebook, do jump over to YouTube. My YouTube channel is Anita Wong for Tech Savvy Entrepreneurs. And you'll find lots of videos in there about video confidence, Instagram and Facebook marketing, and live streaming. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm going to leave the last one up. Thanks, Anita Wong. This was such a great reminder. Thank you so much, Veronica, for joining me. And I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.